Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's me, Mitch. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. And my friends, as usual, drink it if you got it. Look at the chat rolling by, people pouring in. Great to see you this morning. Oh, yeah, I got to drink some of this. I have been getting ready to go on the first little trip that I've taken in God knows how long. And I forgot how many things you have to think of. Oh my God, am I going to need that? Am I going to need that? It would have been easier if they just brought the whole barbecue to my house. Oh, that's good. That's good. Great to see you all this morning, and I'm glad you found me an hour earlier today, but starting on Sunday morning again, we'll be back at 10 o'clock and tomorrow morning. I have no idea what's going to happen. I'll be traveling from Bradenton, where the B&B is, to Tampa sometime between 6:30 and 7:30, and then the event's set up and it all gets started, and won't be able to do a live stream, but I'm going to try to pop up. I'm really going to try to pop up a few times during this whole event with some live streams, especially from the barbecue. That'll be this afternoon, and just kind of bring you along with me. I want you to experience this with me. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. But you know, as you get older, like most of us, your world kind of shrinks. Back in my younger days, I was a world traveler. I was everywhere. I was always on an airplane. I was always on my airplane. I was always doing something, going somewhere. Now I leave the house for 3 hours. I feel like I'm out in danger, out of place. I don't know if that's just me. I know a lot of retired people travel like crazy, but I kind of got over that. Let me take a look at my little show notes here for today so I know what I want to talk about. Okay. So I'm going to leave pretty much as soon as this is over. I've got most of the stuff in the car ready to go. I even have a little camera on a suction cup mount up on the windshield of the car, 360-degree camera, and I may record even a little bit of the trip and put some clips of that in a video. My little video yesterday with the chicken thighs done real well. People really enjoyed that. I was surprised. I do need to do more of that stuff. In case you're wondering, today, my hat says grouper and chips on it, and that this was my restaurant more than 20 years ago or so. And well, it's 15. Yeah, I closed it in 2009 after the economic crash of 2007, and it's when I officially started to be my so-called retirement. But this was the hat, and I've got, I don't know, half a dozen of these things brand new sitting in a drawer. And I said, well, you know, it's an attractive looking hat. I like it. And I seem to be dressing in a black motif these days for some reason. Today I'm wearing Might take the rest of the day off and eat meat, t-shirt, and I don't know what the dress is going to be like for this barbecue or what the dress is going to be like for the event tomorrow in Tampa, but I am going to take both, sport shirt and jeans and shorts and t-shirts. And knowing this crowd, I think it'll be shorts and t-shirts. So I think, what did I take? I took my Brisketarian t-shirt. I'll take this t-shirt and a sport shirt. Like I say, for one friggin' day, I feel like I'm packing for a 2-week cruise. It's nuts. It's nuts. And all the electronics and the cameras, my notebook computer, and I even threw a portable mixer in there in case the opportunity actually comes to set up something that resembles a live stream. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be an adventure. Anyway, thanks for coming in, everybody. Let me see if I'm live here on everything. Rumble, let me refresh that. I have No Slow Gary and Mike Seeley over in the chat on Rumble. And yes, Rumble is streaming. Cool. And YouTube is working, so we're good. We're good. Had a lot of early birds today. A lot of early birds. First one in, Greg Smith. Morning all from Kentucky. And we had just gotten finished with our private community live stream last night, which was fun. And I went ahead and Greg, evidently, what time did he do? No, he actually posted this right after I put up the live stream. And second in, Gary, No Slow. How you doing, Gary? Anna PL07 chimed in last night. Somebody I don't recognize, Daniels, Inflatables, and more. Well, hi, Daniel. And hello to all your inflatables. Good to see you. I don't know if you're here today, but this was yesterday. Lori, how you doing, Lori? Good to see you. Only 12 hours to go. Yeah. And Mike Seeley in Tampa chimed in. Rick, Rick, Charger Mopar chimed in. Terry Sue, how you doing? Lady June. Feral Grandma was here yesterday. Who is this? Out Alive 55. I like that. That's new. First time here in the live chat. Just found Mitch's channel tonight. Well, welcome, my friend. I hope you make it into the live stream and chat away with us. That'd be great. That'd be great. Cliff Medina chimed in. Wayne Herman chimed in. Lynn Gerber chimed in. Good morning. Good morning. Now we're up to the morning time. Gary Arzamendi from California, an early riser. 4:34 in the morning. Thomas Target Prime Rib is here. Less junk, more health. Terry Sue is back. Rick is here this morning. He likes it better earlier because he has to go to work, and 9:30 is a little late for him. So good to see you, Rick. Glad you made it in here. Steve McAvoy, South Carolina. How you doing? And thank you, Terry Sue. Thank you so much. A little going away present for Mitch. I appreciate that, Terry. It was great to see you last night, too. And who else is new? I don't want to waste too much time on this because I'm going to have to try to keep this to an hour today so I can get out of here and get on the road. It's not the longest of drives, but depending on traffic, it's going to take at least 3, if not more, hours. And if there's traffic, it could take 4 or 5 hours to get over there because that traffic is crazy. I got to go right by Walt Disney World and the center of the state of Florida. And sometimes things just come to a screeching halt on Interstate 4. And sometimes it just breezes on by, depending on how many really stupid drivers are out and about. And we have no shortage of them with all the tourists in rental cars down here. It's a real adventure. That's why when I go to see my daughter in Tampa, I usually leave at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and I get over there before the traffic even starts. And even then, it's starting to build up. Okay, who else? Spiritual Nomad. Brooke, how you doing? Good morning to you. Michael Pregler's here. Paul Clark. I chimed in. Francine Bourgeois from Canada. Good morning, Francine. Northwoods Trains is here. Tom in Tampa. Coming your way, Tom. I'll miss you, but coming that way. from Tampa, Florida. Viking 442. Smoothie 420. How you doing, my friend? Marla Kelly is here. And CB is here. And it's not really a question, but he got my attention. I already read it. He says, good morning. We really can't escape duck mania. Have you seen the literature on dinosaur ducks? Just Google 68 million year old Antarctic fossil proves existence of dinosaur era ducks. I'll be sure to do that on my cell phone while I'm driving. That's great, CB. I don't know how you come up with these things or where these ideas pop in your head, but it's fascinating. Erin is here. Booby Goats, how you doing? And she took 3 chats. 3 entries to say ducks are awesome. It seems they are around here. Seems they are around here. And we are sneaking up on the 8:30 hour. Matt is here. B Matt, how you doing? Bryce Hatch is here. How you? Tanya, Kitchen Witch. Good to see you. Yeah, we're all with you, Tanya. We're trying to get through it. Princess Mom, good morning to you. And Ace, a new one. Hi, Ace. How are you? Bet you're not the only YouTuber who uses that name. Aunt B is here. Bama, Jay, how you doing? Good to see you this morning. And we're sneaking up on 8:30. Yes, is Robbie Autry. Oh, Robbie. So close, so close, so close. 8:29 milliseconds, because at 8:30 exactly, Terry Sue, ding, ding, ding. See? Brought you luck this morning. What you won, I don't know, but revel in pride and accomplishment of being the first person to ring the bell exactly when the show started. Thanks, Terry. And shortly after, at the 8:30 hour, Lady June, Pamela Suarez, Sandy Blythe, Edward Renner, Dixie Scott, Steve McAvoy. Holy cow, Chelsea Oates. Look at this. David Clooney, Lizzie, still 8:30. Virginia, Aunt B, Target Prime Rib. Terry Sue again. And that was the last 8:30. Terry, you framed it. You framed it first and last of the 8:30 minute. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Without wasting too much time this morning, because I still would like to answer a few questions if you got them. Put QQQ into the questions, capital Q's, and I'll see them. There's going to be probably a lot of chat this morning. But I'll try to run through it. But I do have to abbreviate it to an hour this morning so I can hit the road. I didn't want to miss it though. All right. Something I got to do every morning. So I'm going to do it. I might need some coffee on the road. Whoops. One of those mornings. Copy. Paste. Enter. There's my Buy Me a Coffee link if the spirit moves you. Thank you in advance. I appreciate it. And you guys have been great lately. You really have. Your support is just overwhelming to me. Thank you. I'm watching Joe. This is just an aside. So I'm watching Joe Rogan's podcast clip last night. And right in the middle of the thing, he takes out this big cigar and just fires it up. And I say, way to go, Joe. I'm not the only one on the planet that isn't trying to kowtow to what everybody else thinks is politically correct. I thought that was nice. Okay, on the TV news this morning. This was crazy. And I see these stories. They always have some kind of a health story on the local news in the morning. And this morning it was about school lunches. And I wrote a whole paragraph. I dictated a whole paragraph into my phone here. And, wow, my chat just disappeared. My computer says, not enough memory to open this page. So what am I going to do? Hang on. Okay. I got it, I think. Let me change to this because the chat just disappeared. Wow. Maybe I shouldn't drive today. This is nuts. Hang on. Let me get rid of that and do this. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but I have to redo the chat that shows up on, at least that I can see on the side. Okay, I'm back. I got it again. That's Chrome. Google Chrome does that sometimes. I have 16 gigabytes in this computer, but running all this stuff, all the broadcasting software and StreamYard, it just must be a memory hog. So, and wow, thank you, Lucas Hepner. Bought me a coffee. Thank you, Lucas. Keep being awesome, friend. Look forward to your daily lives. It's great. Look forward to having you here. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And so I was watching the morning news this morning, and they talked about doing an experiment because they serve breakfast to these kids in school, evidently. And the experiment said they were going to feed samples of 24 different prospective breakfast dishes to the students as a kind of a test, and then see which ones they liked the best so that they could include them in the school breakfast memory. Not memory, the school breakfast schedule. Take a fly-in guess what these 24 breakfast items were. You're right. You're right. Not a single gram of meat. They had some kind of squash, something, butternut squash thing. They had, of course, breakfast cereals. What else did they have? I made notes. Oh, they went on to say that it's important because a healthy breakfast kickstarts the brain and sets the kids up to have energy for the day. So they're doing this, and because it's they know that a healthy breakfast is necessary for these kids to be at their best and sharpest so that they can learn. And what do they feed them? Crap. Sugar. That's what they feed them. I think I wrote down a whole lot of stuff. Hang on a second. Let me find. I was hoping to be a little smoother this morning. I got 37 other things on my mind here that I need to do. Oh, yeah. The first thing they mentioned was cheesy grits. So I suppose, and the cheese that they use in their cheesy grits is probably this artificial American cheese like crap that has no real nutrients or anything in it in the first place. But that's the kind of stuff. It just makes me crazy to see this. And I say to myself, we're never going to fix this. Every time I see a movie or a TV show of somebody's eating a steak and the other person has to make the comment, "Oh, what are you, heading for a heart attack? Your cholesterol isn't high enough already?" I mean, we are so brainwashed. And that has become reality. It has. And to turn that ship around could take another 100 years. And I marvel at it, and it's everywhere. It's everywhere. How do we fix it? It needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. But being aware of it and knowing we're doing the right thing, I think is the most important thing. Another thing, right after that news article, up comes another story. Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is next week. isn't that special. I know that the chocolate manufacturers think it's special because that's all I'm seeing now. And they went in this news article and put up a montage of every kind of crap chocolate stuff that ever lived. And they're telling you, this is the message, they're telling you that you're screwed, men. You're absolutely screwed if you don't prove your love to your significant other by buying a box of their poison for her. That's the message. That's the message. How many carnivores do you think, how many of us are going to be going out and buying chocolate for somebody just to keep the peace? Because we know if we don't, it's the doghouse. That's where we are as a civilization. We are totally controlled by the puppet masters. The puppet masters, the big food and pharma companies that basically fund the messaging at every level. And we dance on the string. Be tough this year, guys. Be tough. If your wife says, or your significant other says, you don't love me, you didn't buy me chocolate, say, I bought something better as a real token of how much I love and care for you. I bought you a ribeye. Be prepared for a smack, but you might get a kiss. Who knows? Depending if your significant other gives you any credibility about your beliefs that this is the way to eat. And those kind of thoughts go through my head when I see this stupid stuff, and you can't ignore it. It's everywhere. If you open your eyes, it's in front of you. Oh, and that's all I had for this morning other than talking about getting ready for this trip. And I think I'm ready. Now I'm thinking, what did I forget? And that'll go on. But I plan on leaving here within a half an hour of finishing this live stream this morning. As you can tell, I'm kind of excited. I mean, excited in a nervous kind of way because I've been up since I got up at 5 this morning, and I have been just running back and forth. I did a load of laundry this morning. I did everything this morning but smoke a cigar. And how many of you have a Keurig coffee maker? Do you have a Keurig? Do you know that little annoying that little white light that flashes that says descale? Do you hate that thing as much as I do? Have you really ever descaled your Keurig coffee maker? Stand there and keep pouring one cup after another of hot water out, and then rinsing it and going through 2 or 3 completely full things of water before that light stops blinking, and you have to put that smelly chemical in there. Well, I've done it, and I do it. And when you know that this morning, I made a cup of decaf when I got up, no blinking light. I went to make this cup of coffee. I said, oh no, didn't I just do that? And you got to buy the descaler. Sometimes and I guess you got to descale any drip coffee maker, but I'm tempted to just start making coffee a pot at a time. Aunt B says, I'm looking at the real-time chat. We need your input on doing lives while you're in the car and on the road. I'd love it. We could get a Walter-style traffic report rant on the state of poor drivers. Well, I can do that. I've got mounts that I can mount up my cell phone so that I can actually just film myself when I'm talking. I've got a 360 camera hanging in the, and I'll maybe a little bit of that. I don't know how I'm not going to mic myself with, wireless mic or anything, but I think the audio will be okay. But I can, as a 360 camera, I can show me, I can, in the editor, turn it around and show you what's in front of me, what's alongside of me. It's pretty neat. And I'm not going to overdo it. I'm not on this mission as a cameraman, but I think it'd be fun just to see a few clips from here and there. So I'm bringing just pounds and pounds of camera equipment. But yeah, it's fun, and I enjoy doing that stuff, and I enjoy sharing these experiences. So let me get started and start to see if I can find any questions. I left off at Terry Sue finishing out the 8:30 minute, and Haley K says safe travels. Thank you. Lizzie's here. The Neil Q is here. Virginia Tucker, good morning. Good morning. Got my coffee with minerals already. Drink it if you got it. Now I got to be careful here because my inclination is to drink 3 cups of this stuff today. And then if I hit the road, I'm going to be looking for a rest stop right off the bat. And I don't want to do that either. So, hey, Steve Rogers, Captain America, how you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome. Claudia Burkick's here. Hiya, Claudia. Kaylee R. Good morning to you, Kaylee from Texas. Yes. Glad you made it this morning. Hope you're still here. I'm not too far behind in the chat. Only about 20 minutes already. Well, I got a choice. I have to either talk or read the chat, one or the other. Granny Boo too, how you doing? Good to see you. Rick's still here. Hey, Rick, or he was still here anyway. Peter chimed in. It's showtime. Yes, Peter, it is. It is. Question. Can we ride in the car with you as you travel? No, I'm afraid not, Lizzie. I could do it for maybe a little while. And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll try to figure out a way for 5 minutes or so, 10 minutes to throw up a live on the screen there and just talk to you as I'm driving. But that's distracting. That's distracting. And I like to pay attention because everybody else on the road is distracted, and I have to make sure that I can dodge and weave these morons. So that's the old pilot in me. You know, when you fly an airplane, especially in difficult conditions, you got to be constantly scanning everything, and that's an important thing you learn when you get your pilot's license is scanning techniques, because you have to keep track of what the instruments say, what's going on outside. You got to be looking for traffic. You got to have situational awareness. You got to be navigating. You got to be talking to controllers on the radio, all that stuff. And I've developed those habits when I was a young man and learning to fly, and I still have them, and I bring them to my driving. There isn't 5 seconds, 10 seconds that goes by when I'm driving a car that I haven't scanned every mirror on that car, the rear view mirror, the side view mirrors, that I don't know where I am and what's going on around me. And I've caught a lot of potential accidents of people changing lanes without looking, things like that. And when I have to, it disrupts that when I try to concentrate. I don't even like to talk on the phone when I drive. I just don't want to bust my poor body up and end up in a hospital where they will surely kill me, and that'll be the end of the old guy. And I don't want that. I don't want that. So I have to minimize that kind of stuff. Chelsea Oates. I haven't traveled much at all within the U.S. Getting my passport. Yes. Have fun. Enjoy it. It's a big world. It's a big world out there. Danny in Boston's here. Let me get you up there. Hi, Danny. How you doing? Cheryl Fedek. Good morning. Have a good trip. I will. Thank you. Thank you. Trina Mitchell's here, chimed in. And Gary's in the portable mixer. I thought Mitch was going to make margaritas at the barbecue. Yes. No, portable mixer. Mixer for audio. I have a portable one, actually. I do. And not quite as, it's a recorder, mixer and digital recorder. It's not quite as elaborate as this thing that I've got right here alongside of me, but it does the trick. If I need to find a card table somewhere and set up a studio, I've got enough equipment with me today to do it, believe it or not. I won't be able to take my microphones, but I have wireless mics that plug right into that mixer and sound just as good. And there's Peter quacking away, and Scotter, good morning, gang. And I'm just looking for, this is going to be hopefully we got a half an hour or so. I don't know whether I'm going to get to dive rabbit holes this morning with technical carnivore stuff, but at least we'll visit for a while. Michael Pregler says, yeah, Michael. Heavy traffic by me means it's going to take 15 minutes instead of 10. Yeah, you obviously don't live in Florida. That's for sure. And everybody's chatting away. Yeah, I say Josephine is here. Good morning, Josephine. See, how you doing? How are you? Bill Cooks, waving at everybody. How are you? Hi, Bill. Welcome. I think I said hi to you, Sandy, but if I missed you, hi. Dr. M. Dr. M. Hello, doctor. I'm a fan of a physician who learned the truth about a year ago after 30 years of practice. Sounds like Ken Berry's story, only he had 20 years of practice. They taught us wrong in medical school we didn't know. Yeah. We have no doubt about that now. I mean, that, back when Ken Berry came on started his YouTube adventure, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, he told a story that was just exactly what you said. He practiced family medicine. He was killing people. And it wasn't until he looked inside or looked at himself. And it takes guts to admit this when your whole life, livelihood, reputation, and preparation of all those years of college, you have to basically go, never mind, I was wrong. And that's something people can't do. But Ken Berry talks about the story of how he did it, and that's one of the greatest traits that a human being can have, the ability to admit, no matter what depends on it or what rides on it, that he made a mistake. If people were hurt, you apologize, and you change your course to stop hurting people. And actually, remember what that Hippocratic Oath says. Do no harm, because it's a shame these doctors today are doing nothing but harm when they keep fooling with our metabolic health. Bless them when they fix a broken bone. But stay out of my cholesterol, my friend. My body, my genetics, my programming are much smarter than that fool that taught you nutrition in your first year of medical school. Thank you, Dr. M. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, and I hope you think that I'm on the right track as well. Question. Peter, are you going to get a speeding ticket on your way to the meetup? Slow down, old man. No, I never get a speeding ticket. And yet, I drive with purpose, Peter. I'm on a mission when I get in my car. I'm on a mission. I drive. With cruise control, it's very easy. I drive exactly 8 miles an hour over the speed limit and no more. That's plenty fast. 78 miles an hour on the interstate is plenty fast. Usually there's some fool in front of you going slower anyway, but when there's, 78 miles an hour will get you there. I remember the days when the speed limit was 55 everywhere, and people were pushing it, and they were going 65 and 70. Well, 78 is faster than that. 78 will get you there. Plus, I don't have an appointment waiting for me at the other end. I have no schedule. It's tough for me. It's very tough for me, but I have to make a deal with myself to enjoy the journey. It's something we fail to do somewhere. In so much of a hurry to get there, we don't enjoy the journey. I want to enjoy this journey, relax, listen to some music, not kill myself. Let the fools pass me if they want, and there's plenty of them going 100, 110 miles an hour on these interstates every day. The cops have given up trying to rein these people in. Most of the time, if I can, I'll stay over in the right lane or the center lane of a 3-lane road, but I don't hang out in the left lane like so many of these people do. These drivers, I don't care how fast they're going or slow, they just park their ass in that left lane like they own it, and they never move and create traffic jams back 10 miles of people trying to get around them. It's the most dangerous thing. They made a law against that. They don't enforce it. What good are laws if you don't enforce it? Hell, we've had immigration laws in this country for the last 4 years. How'd that work out for us? So I'm going to try to relax and enjoy myself. And if I get there a half hour later, it's okay because I'm allowing plenty of time. If I have an appointment, sometimes I put a lot of pressure on myself to get there on time. But thank you, Peter. Thank you, Peter. I will see you this evening, my friend, this evening. I'll be the guy hiding from you behind the bush. I'm sorry. Couldn't resist that one. Let's see here. We have Carnivore Cat Mom joined us. How you doing? How you doing? And remember, I'm going to be back here Sunday morning. I'm going to be back here Sunday morning at 9:30. And there will not be a live stream, obviously, tomorrow afternoon. Because I'm going to be smack dab in the middle of that event. I'm just scrolling through. I'm only 20 minutes behind. That's not too bad. Here's a question from Steve. Mitch, I will be in Melbourne, Florida, 21st and all weekend. I'm going to check out Renninger's. Are you up for cigars and steaks on the grill? I may be, Steve. We'll see. I have to look at the calendar and everything, and more than likely we could meet somewhere, meet at a restaurant or something, run over to the cigar bar. That'd be great. That'd be great. Little touch base on that. Thank you. And who's the stud? Tanya. Surely you're not referring to me. Oh, maybe you are. My phone just went ding. Let's see what that was about. Hang on a second. It was a coffee. How about that? Jane bought me 2 coffees. Thank you, Jane. Thank you so much. And good morning, Mitch. Have so much fun on your trip. Thank you, Jane. I will. And that was very sweet of you. Very sweet of you. Thank you. Lat is here. Hi, Lat. How you doing? I say how you doing a lot during the course of the day, don't I? Not that you can, and you can't even answer me. That's the problem. You can't say, I'm fine, Mitch. How are you? It's just a greeting, I guess. Let's see here. CV and Terry Sue and Aaron and Granny Boo too, and everybody's chatting away. And Steve Studley, I haven't said hi to you yet. Kitchen Witch, I love my women to be buttered up. Oh, Steve. That was too much information, my friend, and I always put these things on the screen before I read them. Maybe I should read them first. Let's see here. All the people are chatting away. We are at 8:50, up to 8:50 in the chat. Tammy's here. Hiya, Tammy. How you doing? Carnivorous. What a great name. Chocolate is a drug that makes her happy. Yes. Oh, I was talking about the Valentine's Day stuff then. Everybody's now chatting about my show notes for the day. Loretta Nadow, how you doing? Valentine's is my birthday. Happy birthday to February babies. Yes. Take a ribeye. Put a candle on it. Have a healthy birthday. Happy birthday to you. And this weekend, holy cow, what's this? This weekend is the Super Bowl. The Stupid Bowl in New Orleans. Next weekend is the Daytona 500. And that's Valentine's Day as well. Oh, man. Stay away from Daytona Beach next weekend. It's nuts. I used to keep when I had my boat, I kept it in the marina over there. I used to go over there, and when they had those events, Black College Reunion, they had Spring Break, they had Daytona, the Daytona 500 and some other race. They had Bike Week, and then in the fall they had Bike-toberfest. Dude, that city is almost unlivable if you happen to be a permanent resident during those events. And of course, they derive amazing revenue from it, so they keep promoting it. I couldn't live there, though. It's crazy. It's nuts. And believe it or not, this is crazy when you think about all the events that are there. The events where there is more patriotism, more friendly spirit, more good behavior than any of the others is actually Bike Week and Oktoberfest. You would never believe that. You'd think, and the worst of them are the ones that involve college students of any race, creed, or color. It is disgusting to watch these young kids. It's very sad. When they get away from home, some of them for the first time, oh, I would not go to my boat during either BCR or spring break. I couldn't. It just was so disgusting to watch the behavior of these kids and the attitudes, the know-it-alls at their age. Anybody over 30 was a stupid old person. The saying, youth is wasted on the young, is absolutely brilliant in insight. It's crazy. Louis L. Hey, Louis, how you doing? From New York, B. Gauthier. Welcome. Good morning from my tiny village in eastern Canada. Yeah, I think sometimes living in a tiny village would not be a bad way to go. Not be a bad way. When I moved here, this was pretty much still a smaller town. Now it's growing like nuts there. I've never seen anything like it. And the roads, we have rush hour here in Melbourne now. There's some times where I can be 2 miles away from home and it takes me 35, 40 minutes. There's some traffic lights I have to sit at through 4 or 5 complete cycles because too much traffic. And what are they doing right across the interstate from me? Building thousands of new apartment houses and housing developments. Houses that cost $400,000 and $500,000 that are sandwiched in with 1/3 the space that I have between the houses in my retirement community here in a mobile home. The space I have around my house is beginning to look like acreage compared to these new houses that they're selling. They put 5 feet between some of these houses. Just boom, 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 boom. It's terrible. And as a builder, as an old home builder, it's horrible. I'd rather live here than there. It's nuts. It's nuts. But that's the new world. It's amazing. In almost 78 years, the changes that we've all seen, that I've seen, from the world of the 50s. I was born in the 40s, but the world of the 50s, when I was first aware of my surroundings, to now. And the changes keep accelerating. So what's the world going to be like in 10 years even? The rate of change is accelerating so fast. How do we keep up with that? How do we keep up with it? Princess Mom says, what do you think of all these airplane crashes? Between you and me, being a pilot and understanding these things and knowing how airlines work and air traffic control and knowing pilots, as many pilots as I do, it amazes me there aren't more airplane crashes. I know that's not an encouraging thing, but with all of this, it's still the safest way to travel that there is if you want to get there. Certainly much safer than a car or driving. So You don't want to get in a plane crash? Stay home. Take a bicycle. Probably run over by some teenager with a cell phone, texting instead of driving. But I have no idea why there are. That happens, and sometimes it seems to happen in spurts. You know, you have a couple of them, then for the next couple of years you don't see any more. I think that we've got that, and these crashes are not your typical airliner crashes. They're stupid incidents. That one at Washington Airport, D.C. Airport, between the helicopter and everything, that was just some rookie military helicopter pilot made a mistake. It was compounded by the fact that the control tower was understaffed. There was only one controller on duty. At Washington National, that's crazy. The other controller that was supposed to be on duty evidently went home sick. Well, so whose fault is it? Is it the helicopter pilot that didn't realize he was way higher in altitude than he was supposed to be? He was supposed to be down around 200 feet. He was up at 350, that close to the airport. Here comes the jet coming in on final approach, and whammo. So who do you blame? Both of them. It's just the situation. I guess in the final analysis, you blame the government for all of it, because it wasn't the American airline pilot's fault. In one of two different ways, it was the government's fault. Either they didn't train their military helicopter pilot well enough, or they weren't on top of the staffing of the control tower. And they'll do a big investigation and spend millions of dollars to figure out just exactly what I just said that was obvious to me the minute it happened. But they got to do their due diligence. So that's my opinion on that. The other crash, who knows? I didn't pay much attention to that. But I don't think it means a trend, and I don't think airline safety is any worse than it was yesterday or last week or last year. I spent a lot of time. I've had friends that were air traffic controllers. They used to, especially up at Dulles Airport, they used to invite me up to the tower, and I used to love that. I used to go up there to the control tower, and this was back in the days before tourists. This was back in the day when I was a flight instructor. This was back in the day when you flew on an airline and the cockpit door was always open, and you walked by and you could look into the cockpit and see all the instruments, and the pilots would smile at you if they were looking in that direction, and nobody worried about hijackings or anything. I remember those days, and that was the end of that was right about the time that I was teaching flying. I've got a story I'll tell you one of these days about my first brush up against the paranoia caused by hijackings. And this was long before 9/11. This was back when they were hijacking airplanes to go to Cuba. I don't know how many of you remember those days. But it's a hell of a story. I'll have to tell it because it's fascinating. And I'll never forget it, about my little brush up against a threatened bomb in the tower at Dulles Airport when I was close enough to potentially have been blown out of the sky, if that was all true. And what I went through at that particular time, it was something else. And this was the first of it, way when it started. And it's still going on. Like Silly says, be careful of the mud on the road. You don't want your vehicle smelling. Oh, that's not mud. Yeah, you all remember what happened to me. I drove through what evidently was a spillage from a septic tank. It had splashed all underneath my car one time. And I got home in my driveway and I said, what the hell's that smell? Oh. It's an obstacle course out there. Question, are eggs still in short supply in USAS? I don't know about short supply. There's not. You can still get them. Prices have kind of stabilized, but they'll keep it this way as long as they can and milk it for all it's worth. Kill as many chickens as they can because they can raise the prices. And then when they do lower them down, they'll be higher than they used to be. They'll have a new set point for the price of eggs, just like beef. You pay for chuck roast now. You pay $6 plus a pound for a chuck roast. It wasn't too many years ago, a year or two ago, you could buy a ribeye for $6 a pound. So hopefully this change in our whole entire government that's supposed to be happening, if the radical activist judges don't stop all of it dead in its tracks, which they're doing the best they can to do, maybe we'll get this inflation nonsense under control. Maybe we'll get rid of the Federal Reserve Bank and all the corrupt government agencies, and maybe income taxes will go down and prices will become lower, and we can get back to having some security and stability in our lives without worrying about whether we'll be able to afford to live next week, let alone next year. I can't imagine being a young person today trying to make plans for their future. Their future is 3 weeks ahead now. Who knows what the hell 20, 30 years brings? And the scary thing for me is if I stay healthy and this all works like I hope it might, I might still be around in 20 or 30 years. And that worries me too. That worries me too. So day by day, we take it. We do what we can. Wow, there's 165 people here. Wow. Anybody chatting over there in Rumble? Yeah. Mike Seeley Sr. joined in. Rod Weeder. Good morning, Rod, over there in Rumble. How you doing? Rumbling away. Good to see you. And I keep getting, well, I'm about 20 minutes behind. So I got to wrap this up here in 10 or 15 minutes. Jerry Hall, thank you so much. Have fun and be safe on the roads this weekend. Mitch, little super chat, thank you. Very, very nice of you. Very nice of you, Jerry. Thanks so much. Let's see here. Couch Potato chimed in. Hi, Couch 84. Hey, yes, somebody older than me. Wow. That's great. Makes my day when I'm not the oldest guy in the room like I always am. And I know there's a lot of people older than me, but most of them at that age aren't getting out. And they're certainly not on computers chatting in chat rooms. So it's rare that I see somebody in this realm or in my sphere and circle of activity that's older than me. Now, I don't have to go very far in my mobile home community here to find people older than me, but I never see them. They never go out of the house. They don't walk. They don't do anything. The only time you see them is when the ambulance comes. And that's enough motivation for me to not let myself have happened to me what happened to them over the course of a lifetime. Oh, Terry Sue. My grocery delivery girl handed me my $19 carton of a dozen eggs to me. I can't believe that. By hand like it was gold bullion. That's nuts. That's nuts. Oh, well, that's still nuts, but less nuts. Terry, $10. Yeah, the 9's right next to the 0. I do that all the time. We understand. But even $10 a dozen is crazy. At Sam's, the last time I was there, I paid $8 for 2 dozen of their so-called cage-free eggs. But the pasture-raised eggs that I generally eat, the ones that are brown eggs, not white eggs, I haven't seen them for a while. But I stocked up on eggs, and I'm still pretty good. And eggs, even at $4 a dozen, are pretty cheap. You can get 3 meals if you eat 4 eggs at a time out of $4 worth of eggs. That puts it down in the chicken thigh price range. So you could have a couple of chicken thighs and 4 egg omelet for $3 if you wanted to. There are cheap ways, and I'm glad that little video yesterday did well. And just to show you how this whole thing has turned around in less than a week for me and for this channel, because it was going to hell. It was going downhill. Until I made that video where I stood in the kitchen and told it like it was, and risked basically giving it up. It's really turned around. I've gained over 400 subscribers since that video, if you can believe it. Right now, I mean, it's crazy. It's such a roller coaster. One minute you're riding high, everything's great, people love you. Next minute you get trolls and nobody's supporting you, and your views go down into the toilet. And it's not random. It's the whim of the YouTube algorithm, because if my stuff doesn't get pushed out, nobody will find it. And this is something that we've all experienced, every one of us, no matter how small or big you are on YouTube. It's a roller coaster, depending on some kid who decides to change a few words in a line of code in YouTube. Now, what I'm hoping is that line of code that says that anything in the low-carb, carnivore, keto genre, a factor, reduce the propagation of those videos by a factor of whatever the number is. And instead of, let's say, 500 impressions on people's videos, you'll have 100 impressions, and the channel just tanks. I'm hoping those will finally go away, and the only reason I'm even hopeful that they'll go away is because Donald Trump has cut ties with the World Health Organization. And now people are beginning to find out the fraud that they have always been, and their responsibility in the mess that was the pandemic. The reason that YouTube is throttling people on our channel, is considering what we say disinformation, is because they partnered with the World Health Organization. How do I know that? I got an email from YouTube 8 months ago or so. We've partnered with the World Health Organization and strictly adhere to their guidelines as it pertains to diet, and consider any other point of view to be misinformation and a violation of the community guidelines. And that's when what we call shadow banning started. That means they just say, we're not going to push your stuff out there. It violates, we'll let you still do it so your subscribers can see it, but we're not going to introduce a soul to your stuff that doesn't already know who you are, or we will limit it to maybe 10% of what we used to do. And my channel came to a screeching halt, as well as so many other people on this sphere. I was getting 2,000-3,000 subscribers a month before that, and after that I started losing subscribers, and just up and down a little bit. And I knew why. A lot of people gave up when that happened. But we have cut ties with the World Health Organization. We have exposed them, just like USAID and that fraud and corrupt nonsense. And we're going to be exposing more and more people. And it may be that finally the mandate will get to Google to stop punishing people for telling the truth. Because fact-checking, as the term they use, is just another way to say propaganda. It's the opposite of fact-checking. We've been putting up with this. So my channel's starting to grow again. I'd like to say, well, maybe it's me. Maybe it was that 1 week of videos. Or maybe YouTube is lightening up because of things that are happening. None of us have any way of knowing. But it's an adventure every day nonetheless. Nonetheless. It can be you've seen it can be very depressing. And you do reach the point. And I was at a point where every morning I said, I don't even know how much longer or why I even bother anymore. I get joy from helping people and having friends, but I'm too old for this level of roller coaster disappointment that I've been going through. But this past 5 days has been fabulous. I have that old feeling back, a little bit of enthusiasm, maybe a little optimism even. So I decided I would go to this thing this weekend, and I'm glad I did. Anyway, who knows? Life is an adventure. It is 9:30. I got to get going here pretty soon. I know I missed some questions. I know I didn't say hi to some people. Normally, I have it set up so however long it takes, I'm happy to sit here, but I do have something to do. CB's telling people how cheap it is to live in Alabama. I might become your neighbor there, my friend. All right, looking for any last questions? Where am I in the chat? 9:28. Okay, I'm almost caught up. That's it. I got to the bottom. Last entry, Neil Q. You're absolutely right, my friend. I mean, this is an agenda checking would be more on point than fact checking. Oh, there's no doubt about it. And it's not even just the fact checking. It's who's doing the fact checking and what is their agenda. Just hearing and reading something these days doesn't mean anything. Because whatever it is, it's always part of somebody else's agenda, and more than likely it's propaganda. That makes it very hard to figure out when you're looking for accurate dietary information what to believe and what not to believe. Just because you heard it somewhere doesn't mean it's true. That's why it takes a lot of critical thinking, and you need a lot of backstory. You need knowledge of things that you've previously decided for yourself are credible, to see if this new thing that you're trying to decide is credible actually fits in with those things that have already gone through your reality filter. Very few people think like that these days. They just care about who's going to win the Super Bowl. Superficial crap. But why? You can't expect anything more than that. Most people haven't had a critical thought in their life. Their life is only about survival, day to day, and having fun. And sometimes I envy those people. Fat, dumb, and happy, you know? Anyway, my friends, and I mean that always when I say it, thanks so much for coming. Thanks so much for coming in here this morning to this early abbreviated live stream. Maybe somewhere in a parallel universe, of which there theoretically are supposed to be an infinite number of, maybe somewhere in one of those parallel universes, at this moment, that Mitch is not going to go to Tampa today, has not rescheduled his live stream, an hour earlier. And if you tuned in that parallel universe, you'd hear this. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. But we're in this universe. So in this universe, my friends, I'll be coming at you at crazy and random times. If you miss the lives, there'll be replays on all that stuff. Hope you enjoy keeping up. If I don't see you again in a chat or in person like this, Sunday morning, 9:30, where that universe and this universe will become in sync again, I'll see you all then. So have a great weekend. Stay safe and healthy. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.